Hello and welcome to 11th Moon Weekly. You know, it is absolutely freezing outside, so that's why here at 11th Moon, we're staying warm with some of our favorite co-op games. That's why, for this week's episode, we're counting down our top 10 games. More specifically, the top 10 favorite co-op games that Craig and I have played together.
Our list is determined by a few factors. 1. Brian and I have played this game together. 2. Each game has a single-player campaign that you can play fully co-op as different characters. And 3. The ranking is not based on the quality, but the entertainment factor that Brian and I had playing it together.
And here we go!
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a one.
Number 10. The Gears of War franchise. Gears of War made our list because it's a serious game that we didn't take serious. To be honest, we didn't pay attention to the storyline very much.
There was a storyline?
But from what we picked up, it was decently entertaining. When we played through the game, we were primarily achievement hunting. Craig had already unlocked hard mode, so to get the achievements more quickly, I played through on casual and Craig still on hardcore, which led to some hilarious situations. I would clear a room with ease and then mock Craig for being downed every few seconds. We soon came to call the casual player Superman, or Clark. It wasn't the execution in the game, but our casual take on it that earned it our 10 spot. Number 9. Spelunky.
Spelunky was one of our sleeper hits of 2012. We started playing it because of a review on XPlay and decided it was worth our time. This turned out to be immensely true. With its simplistic campaign and chaotic co-op, this game had us constantly coming back for more. The fact that we accidentally screwed each other over all the time just made it that much more fun to play. With the constant challenge and the randomized levels, it was always new and fun. Our personal enjoyment would come from our different playstyles. Brian always tried to sprint through the levels, while I was always very cautious. This led to many hilarious situations and earned it the 9 spot.
Number 8. New Super Mario Bros. U. 2 words, Star Road. Co-op Mario is always a lot of fun. The more people you have, the more fun it can be. Luckily, Craig and I had the opportunity to play with a 5-player team, running through this game before it devolved into
the best thing ever!
The other 4 players decided it was prudent to try to kill me as much as possible, by either throwing me into lava or scroll killing me, with even the gamepad user placing blocks to keep me in constant danger. Though this wasn't our favorite aspect of the game, the real fun came when playing through the levels, collecting the star coins, and getting to Star Road. But you should click the annotation to get the full reasoning of why Super Mario Bros. U made it to our 8 spot. Number 7. Kings of the Beach.
Kings of the Beach is an NES game that I had when I was growing up and I loved. The game is a 2-on-2 beach volleyball game. The first night we put the game in to start playing, we didn't stop till 4 in the morning. It was extremely entertaining for me because of the nervousness I had wanting Brian to love this game as much as I did.
And wholly unexpected fun, Batman. This game was a blast. I normally don't like sports games, but with its catchy music, fun gameplay, and simplistic controls, this game is addictive. We ended up developing strategies, defining roles, and getting further in the tournament than Craig had ever been. We liked the game so much that we decided to do a run of it for Obsessively Unfocused on our second channel, 11th Moon 2. Go ahead and click the annotation to view those videos. The fun and entertainment we got from this game spiked it into our 7 spot. Number 6. Super Mario Bros. 3 and World.
These 2 games are 2 of the best Mario games ever made. Brian and I had a ton of fun playing these games, and had even more fun while playing them on stream. These games are unique comparatively to the rest of the games on our top 10, because they are the only ones that are turn-based through the campaign. These games offer plenty of chances to laugh at each other, make comments, and hold complete conversations while playing and not missing a beat. We would constantly give personalities to the different characters, often giving them lines of their own and creating backstories that would leave us in tears while playing. It never gets old sitting down and having an adult beverage or 2 while playing these games, which also creates its own fun. These are classic games and it is hard not to have fun while playing them. The sheer joy Brian and I had during those close calls while jumping and laughing at each other's misfortunes put this duo at our 6th spot.
Number 5. Borderlands 2. This was my game of the year for 2012. From top to bottom, I absolutely love this game. The story, the co-op, the gameplay itself, this game was a massive success, leading to why we loved it. A big part of that was because we played through the game as a co-op team. We loved the class-based system and falling into our own unique roles to help the team, and it was always satisfying working together to take down a big boss. Craig and I love having our own specific roles when playing co-op games. The feeling of each of us having our own unique job while still benefiting the team adds to the overall experience. As you leveled up and completed missions, you really felt accomplished and a part of a team. A lot of our personal entertainment was when we played with Mike. Those two would jump into a vehicle and drive off without me, leaving me to fend for myself. They thought this was hilarious. But when we were in a real sticky situation, it was always reassuring knowing that Mike was gunzerking and Craig was healing. I really loved this game and can recommend it to anyone wanting to have a fun co-op experience. Make sure to click the annotation to watch our review and learn more on why it's our 5 spot. Number 4. Crackdown.
Crackdown is the game on our list that was more about us playing the game together than it was about us wanting to play the game itself. The game is addicting to play and a lot of fun, but neither one of us really had an inkling to play when the other person couldn't. It was a game that we fully played co-op and hardly, if ever, played by ourselves. We initially got the game because it included the much anticipated Halo 3 beta. We were pleasantly surprised when the game came out of nowhere to become something that we consistently wanted to come back to. Crackdown was one of the first games we found that by diversifying our strengths, we could become more effective. I immediately made my driving skills top priority and Brian focused on agility. That ended up creating a problem between Brian and I. We would be speeding our way to the boss, within 10 feet of blowing the door down with my vehicle, when Brian would see an agility orb and tuck and roll out of the car, leaving me high and dry in the middle of a boss battle by myself. But when Brian wasn't diving out of harm's way, our favorite thing was to take a cop car, flip the lights on, and crash through the front gate of the enemy stronghold. To us, it was like playing an action movie, which soon turned into a buddy cop movie. With excessive use of lines like, "I'm getting too old for this shit," we were cracking each other up the entire time. This is the game that solidified me as the first option for driving in any game, and where my personal pride started at making sure I could drive the best in any game that we played. These factors drove Crackdown to our 4th spot.
Number 3. The Halo franchise. As many of you know, Halo Combat Evolved was the game that began our friendship. It was the first game that we ever played together, and over the years, we have played through every Halo campaign together since. Although each Halo game is different, some things always carried over. Like our abuse of the respawn system during the campaign, we would play through until one player died. It then became standard practice that the man who just died became what was compassionately referred to as the guy. He would charge ahead with basic weaponry in his hands to take out as many enemies as possible until he died. Then we would wait for him to respawn and repeat the process as many times as needed to clear out the area. This strategy worked for every situation except for Halo 2 on Legendary. This is another reason why we love these games so much. Halo 2's Legendary campaign. It was utterly brutal for a first-person shooter. With the slightest misfire or incorrect timing, it left you fuming and respawning over and over again. Even with the cheapest maneuvers to get you through the campaign, it was incredibly difficult and tested your patience and resolve. Another thing that makes this franchise so great is the story. It was surprisingly detailed and deep for a first-person shooter. The only franchise that we believe beats the Halo storyline in our honest opinion is The Legend of Zelda. That is how immersive this storyline really is. With how many Halo games there are and how much we love the storyline, you can imagine the amount of time that we have put into the campaign alone. A series that has us put this much time in lands itself at the 3 spot. Number 2. The Left 4 Dead franchise.
What can we say about this game that everyone doesn't already know? This game was one of the most ridiculously fun games that Brian and I have ever played together. What also made this game great was the ability to bring in more people besides just Brian and myself. Brian, a couple other friends, and myself trying to fend off hordes of zombies for hours and hours. How could this not be fun? How we didn't have heart attacks constantly is a wonderment to me, especially with the stress we would put ourselves through on the expert campaign. This game is filled with heart-pounding and sacrificial moments where you yell out to your teammates, "Go on without me!" as you lay on the ground being consumed by flesh-hungry zombies. This game had us so obsessed that we would leave our Xboxes on all night just to avoid having to rebeat a part of a level on expert. Games that give you achievements that are additional challenges always provide more fun, as we became obsessed with every achievement we could possibly get while playing this game. Hours upon hours were spent strategizing and putting them into effect, then tweaking them or altogether scrapping them to make way for our newer, and not always better, ideas. It was a game that you had to work together, and that is something that obviously Brian and I find important in a co-op game. We of course had our personal fun with the game when continually joking and creating our favorite character's backstory, the battle-hardened war vet Bill. Other unintentionally funny parts of the game are fighting over doors, as both parties are honestly just trying to open the door, or accidentally tossing a Molotov cocktail right at your friend's feet, and foolishly alerting the horde or waking the witch. This game is a blast and fun for anyone looking for a great co-op experience, and absolutely deserves our 2 spot.
Number 1. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Marvel Ultimate Alliance gets our number 1 spot because it's by far our number 1 co-op experience. At one point or another, between ourselves and every single one of our friends, we have done a playthrough of this game. We are talking everyone. People who normally only play rhythm games to people who only play multiplayer online first-person shooters. Everyone liked this game. We have honestly played through this one game's campaign roughly 25 times, and this is not a short game. It can be the button smasher for the person who doesn't want to really think, but wants to just kick some ass. You can bump it up and be more involved with your character and moves, choosing where to spend your points. But you can also take this game as a full RPG and customize your character to the fullest extent, creating him to be exactly what you need and exactly how you want to play. The sheer number of playable characters allows for an almost infinite amount of team combinations, making each playthrough unique. Craig and Adam found great success as the Human Torch and Iceman, while Craig and Kirk found nothing but frustration between Wolverine and Iceman. The ability to change your team and play the game as you want is one of the game's strongest points. Along with the diverse character selection, the variance in level design also plays a strong part in this game's fun. There are many unique levels with varying themes and enemies that keep this game fresh and interesting. But we can all agree, no one likes the water level. Along with the game being solid, we also started forming our own jokes and finding our own fun inside the game. During one playthrough, we created a firing squad of sorts and used it to mow down enemies, while in others, we just gathered around bosses and wailed on them until we won. It made for some hilarious times and fun memories. One of our favorite running jokes is saying throw up your rock fist whenever you used guard. It was just something that Kirk said that both made us laugh and stuck with us for years. The game also encouraged non-comic book fans to become more curious and prompted many discussions about the Marvel Universe and lore. It did what a good licensed game should. It promoted the brand while still providing a fun experience. All in all, this game did what a good co-op game should do. Encouraged teamwork and provided hours of fun. If we are ever discussing wanting to play a co-op game today, Marvel is always towards the top of our list. That's why it's our number 1.
Thank you for watching this week's 11th Moon Weekly. Make sure to subscribe, like us here and on Facebook, leave a comment down below, and let us know what your favorite co-op games are. Thanks again, guys. See you next week.